The Council of Hollow Stump had convened under full emergency protocol. No chirping, no tail fluffing, no ceremonial butt sniffing. Rollo the dog still tried, but was immediately sat down by 3 raccoons.
"He's stuck," said Bramble the badger, pacing in panicked circles. "Really stuck. In the river pipe. His tail sticking out like a fluffy cork."
Tibbins the squirrel, twitching nervously on a high branch, peered down.
"And you tried pulling him out?"
"I tried. We all tried. Even called the otters." Bramble paused. "And you know how grabby they are."
There was a solemn nod from the group. Otters were enthusiastic. All eyes turned toward the great owl, who blinked once. Slowly, with authority.
"Then we all know what this means,"
she said, grave as a thundercloud. The forest fell silent. Even the wind held its breath.
"Oh no,"
whispered Pip the hedgehog.
"Yes,"
Owl said.
"We must get a human."
Gars shot through the clearing like startled bats. A rabbit fainted. It was no small thing, summoning a human. In the animal kingdom, humans were like walking weather. Unpredictable, occasionally life-saving, frequently catastrophic. They might help you. They might trap you in a plastic box and make you wear a sweater. They might rescue you from a fire, or throw bread at you like a judgmental god. Still, the raccoon was stuck. His tail wiggled slower by the minute. There was no other choice. The animals gathered at the edge of the forgotten fence, where the human territory began. Just past it sat the shed, squat, metal, and pulsing with unknown sorcery. The humans within were rarely seen. The tall one who smelled like grass, and the loud one who screamed at rectangles.
"Are we sure we want to do this?"
Bramble whispered, staring at the structure like it might grow teeth.
"No," said Tibbins, clutching a small rock. "But we're out of options. And snacks."
He lobbed the rock at the shed. It clinked. Nothing happened. Then, crick, the shed door groaned open. The tall one emerged, wielding a trowel and a steaming mug that smelled of scorched leaves. His eyes were shadowed with sleep, his expression unreadable, his socks unmatched. The animals froze. Then Pip, who had drawn the short straw, mostly because he was shortest, stepped forward and dramatically keeled over with a squeak. The tall one squinted. He approached, knelt, reached out, very slowly, and lifted Pip in both hands.
"He's doing the squint," Bramble muttered. "That means he's deciding." "Please be a helpful decision," whimpered Pip.
The human smiled.
"That's either very good," said Tibbins, "or the start of a long captivity involving bath time and Instagram."
With Pip tucked into his hoodie like a living acorn, the tall one followed the animals to the pipe.
"He's coming,"
squeaked a mouse lookout.
"With tools."
"He brought the red box,"
said Bramble in reverent awe.
"The clackety red box." "Inside are metal fingers," whispered a beaver. "They know no mercy, or rust."
The human crouched beside the pipe, examining the trapped tail, and opened the red box. One by one he summoned his instruments. Silver claws, hissing tubes, a flat thing that made sparks like forest lightning. Tink, tink,
whoosha!
"What's that noise?"
"I think he just breathed fire,"
murmured a squirrel. Then, pop. A soggy, dazed raccoon rocketed out of the pipe like a wet cannonball and landed in a pile of moss with a squelch. The crowd erupted into cheers. Even Owl allowed herself a single dignified hoot. The human wiped his brow, gave them all a small nod, and left. Just like that. No leashes, no jars, no sweaters.
Wait, said Bramble. He didn't keep anyone? Not even the raccoon? Not even the hedgehog?
They stared at each other.
We live another day.
Back at the stump, the council reconvened over a pot of stolen chamomile tea. Slightly chewed.
Well, Tibbin said, that went better than expected.
Did anyone see the way he looked at that pipe? Owl asked. Like he understood it. Like he's seen such things before. Like he knows the world of tubes.
Are we saying he might be part pipe? Gasped a rabbit. Don't be absurd, sniffed Pip. That's ridiculous. You're the one who fainted at the word human. That's a valid and culturally respected response.
At the far end of the forest, the frogs had their own meeting.
So let me get this straight,
said Ribitimus Maximus, sovereign of the lily throne.
They went and summoned a human? With the rock ritual,
a young toad confirmed.
And no one was eaten? Not a single nibble. We should try it.
No!
Shouted every fish in the pond. The next day, Rollo the dog returned from his perimeter patrol, tail high with important news.
I have seen his world, he declared. He lives among boxes. Some sing, some glow, some open to reveal so many snacks.
Did you get any?
No, but I did sniff a magical sock, and the large one spoke to the glowing rectangle. It screamed back about taxes.
There was silence. Then Owl spoke what they all felt in their feathered, furred, and scaled hearts.
This must be remembered. Stored down in the roots, passed down to the hatchlings and their hatchlings.
She raised her wings solemnly.
If ever we are in mortal danger, if all else fails, go get a human.
The forest changed after that. Slowly. Carefully. Tiny offerings appeared by the fence. Shiny pebbles. A perfectly round mushroom. A pine cone painted with berry juice. Sometimes they vanished. Occasionally they returned with treasures. A coin. A granola bar still in its wrapper. The human remained a mystery. Some days kind. Other days there were loud clanks and electric shrieks from his den, and the animal stayed well away. But when the storm drowned the lower burrows, when the fire crept from the dry fields, when the crows screamed of wires and broken wings, they remembered. And they whispered to the young, wide-eyed and listening, "Go get a human." And the wind carried the words like a spell, a hope, a fret, a joke told through trembling whiskers. And on certain moonless nights, if the wind was right, the human would hear the faint rustle of paws and wings outside his door. And if he ever opened it, well, that's a tale for another stump fire.